Hello, YouTube. This is Ewan Spence and ESC Insight calling. Let's go down under for our next Eurovision review. Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day. If you just want to get that last cliche in, welcome to ESC Insight's YouTube channel, where we've taken our long-running Jukebox Jury song review podcast, cut it up into little tiny pieces, and brought it here to you all on YouTube on a country-by-country basis. So yes, Australia, if you haven't made it through all the puns to work out where we're going next, it's Voyager, a band who's been trying a few years to get to the contest and have finally got there with Promise. I'm joined by Moni Moncrief from the Second Cherry podcast and Olympia from the world infamous YouTube channel Olympia to listen to Australia's song that's heading to Liverpool. It's Promise, it's heading to Liverpool, and it's Monty up first.
I'm not sure it's my style of music. I've got a metalhead friend who was quite excited about Voyager being selected to represent Australia. So it made me wonder, do they have that kind of international following, albeit within a subgenre of music? And if that popularity is there the possibility that people who like that will vote for it? This will be the one that you will vote for, but I'm not sure how many metalheads are actually going to be tuned into Eurovision, but you never know. I don't know, it's kind of, it's metal, but it's a bit more melodic, but still has a bit of the noisiness and the sort of the crash, boom, bang of a metal song. It's going to be big in the arena. There's no doubt about this. This is going to go on. This is the kind of song that is made to play in that environment. It has a good running order. It's coming last, or it has a running order that people are favouring, put it that way. I know you've had the recent coffee chat with Ben on the podcast about the importance of the running order and does it matter? And I think the analysis of that was last place is actually very, very good for qualification. It was almost like 100% record.
This song is going to be bright and loud to finish off that. It's just like, oh, there you go, and now the phone line's open.
Absolutely, it only has to be one of those top 10 to get through. I sometimes feel, though, that being last in the running order, if you do not grab the audience attention within the first few seconds of the song, there is the risk that they're then dismissing the song, not really paying it attention, totting up their votes, going to the loo, thinking, oh, this isn't really something for me. And if you don't connect with this song and the style of it in the early bars of it, I think that is a risk of coming last. But I mean, that's not just for this song, it's a risk for last place in general, I feel.
The percentage variance isn't that much. The song still plays a far bigger part than where you are in the running order. The running order might be able to help, but it won't help a particularly weak song. And this is not a particularly weak song. This is a pretty good slice of the prog metal that you do get from Voyager. It's a bit more electro, it's a bit more pop, and it's a bit more accessible as well. And I think that is going to help that get into the top 10 and qualify through for Australia.
I think, you know what it is? Australia are in a really precarious position because I think that the novelty of having Australia as a competing country has worn off completely. They can't rely on any kind of a little bit of sway from the novelty that they're there in the first place. That's long gone. I personally preferred the song that they were going to send last year, Dreamer. I think it was doing a lot more. So my reaction to this was it's a little flat. But I think for the casual kind of viewer, the Saturday viewer, this will... I think people will respond to it. It's certainly something which it's one of the key songs that can only be elevated by staging. And Australia tend to do that quite well. So I have no kind of worries that it's going to be like a real big moment. Certainly the kind of end note when he's kind of like, shouting that out. I think it's going to be a real moment on the stage. I really like it. I get that it's not like everyone's cup of tea. I think particularly the thing I like the most about this is the lyrical content of this song is almost at odds, I think, with the sound and the style, because it's kind of very sweet what they're singing about. That it's, if someone is maybe a bit anxious or they're kind of, the world's crumbling around them, but it's just kind of like, well, you're here with me, so I think everything's going to be okay. Like, it's a very, very sweet, just on the right side of like overly saccharine, but it's very sweet. And I like that it's kind of like married with, because there's the scream moment. It's, there's the kind of, it's edge. But I just think it's cute. Whether it'll grab people on the first listen, I don't know, maybe not. I also think there might be a tiny percentage of people that see a guy rocking out on a guitar with long hair, whipping it round, big note at the end, and they think, because viewers are so fickle, and people might think, well, there's a bit of a Sam Ryder kind of, in some countries obviously jump on what won the year before. Maybe there's a kind of a little bit of that going on, but I like it. I've got it quite high in my personal ranking, so I'm very excited to see it.
For me, what I'm most looking forward to is, Voyager know how to work a stadium. They've done stadium tours, they've done support, they've had support, they've went around the world. They've got 3 minutes in front of an audience, and they're going to have they're going to have performance nerves, but they're not going to have any sort of nerves beyond it. Let's go out and do a good show. They're going to walk out on that stage and feel 100% at home. And that, with the energy of a performance, I mean, I think there's a reason that the producers have decided that this song is going to close out the semi-finals. Not only is it loud, not only is it exciting, but you have to think that there's something in the staging, and especially in the last 30 seconds where everything just kicks in to that big final gear. There's a lot going on, but it also feels quite a simple song as well. It's not challenging, it's just, there you go, you like this, go listen. Great. It is the very typification of just put your foot on the amplifier and play the guitar. And they do it wonderfully. How accessible that will be to everybody to get a lot of votes when they get to the grand final, I am not so sure. A lot will depend on where they go in the running order. This might be the perfect opener for the grand final. It would not be the first time where we've had a semi-final closer go out and open up the grand final as well. If they draw first half, I'll give that better than even odds, I think, yeah. But in terms of what we give them, it's always a hit, miss, and a maybe here, and we have a big, long definition of what hit, miss, and maybe. No, we haven't. We haven't. We just say the words, and we kind of justify what the word is. We don't have a guidebook. So I put this down as a hit. It's accessible. I enjoy it. It's a relatively easy choice for qualification. And when it gets to Saturday night, it's a show built for Saturday night. And that'll be fine. Hit.
I think it's a maybe. I think it will qualify, but I'm not really seeing it troubling the left-hand side of the scoreboard on the night.
I think maybe is more realistic, but you know what? I just love it, so I'm going to say hit. You know what? If there's absolutely no criteria for this, let's go with hit.
Australia's entry to Eurovision this year, Promise by Voyager. Thanks to Monty and Olympia there for helping me out with that review. You can listen to the full review of that and all the other songs back at our podcast. ESCinsight.com is the website, and you can search for ESC Insight in all your favourite podcast app service directories and Spotify as well. More song reviews here, more podcasts online, more discussion at our website, and Liverpool and Eurovision 2023 gets ever closer. Ta-ra for now. You've been listening to the highlights of Jukebox Jury as we preview the Eurovision Song Contest 2023. Find out more and listen to our podcast, www.escinsight.com.